Hi, this is Linda and welcome back to my kitchen. Pull up a chair and we'll get started with this little technique here. When I was young, I remember, and I'm sure a lot of you do too, and some of you will be too young, but when I was young, I remember how good a hamburger or a steak of any kind tasted. It just had a wonderful taste to it. Well, that's not true anymore. It's just not true. I don't know if it's the hormones or what it is that has taken the flavor out of beef, but something has. And I'm really disappointed in hamburgers. Even those that I make at home, they just have no taste, and they look juicy and they have juice in them, but there's no taste to the meat. So the other day I was flipping through the channels and I saw Alton Brown, on Good Eats, and I have a lot of respect for him. And he was demonstrating how to make your own hamburger meat. And so that's what we're going to do today. And I've done some of the prep work because this would be too long if I didn't. This is a sirloin steak. And over here, which you see cut up on a scale, that's a chuck steak. I trimmed most of the fat off of both of them and cut them in 1.5 cubes, 1.5 inch cubes. I haven't cut this one yet. I thought maybe you'd want to see me do part of it. I've got my right here food processor because that's what he used. I have a grinder, and he said I have a grinder that fits my mixer, but I'm not going to use it because most people don't have grinders. But a lot of more people have food processors, and that's what he used, and that's what I'm going to use. Alright, after you've trimmed all that hard fat off of you've got to have a combination of sirloin and chuck steak. And you're going to cut it up the same size. And the rule of thumb is, what he says is work in small batches. Don't use any more meat that covers the bottom of your food processor. Work in small batches, and the meat has to be chilled. And you get all that hard fat off. I had that silver skin and everything. That hard fat. You wouldn't think there'd be any on a sirloin steak, but there was. Now, what you do is when you grind your hamburger up, or chop it up, because that's what it's going to be in the food processor, you have to have at least 30% of it is chuck. So I'm going to get you up here because I want this to stay chilled, and I want it to look like his did. And see, there's some fat that I missed. You don't take every bit of the fat out of it now, but those old silver pieces and things that are not going to be good to the taste, you want that off of it. And have a sharp knife, and when you cut away from you. Don't cut towards you. Cut away from you. Now, he said, let's get all this in here. I think I can. We're working in small batches here, so that is enough. You pulse 10 times. Let me wipe my hands off. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he said stop there if you're going to make stew, that it's just the right size. 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks good to me. So I'm going to take this and put it in a bowl. And do my next batch. Well, come on out of there. There we go. So here we go again. Now remember, this is the Choc. And we're doing just as he said. We're working in small batches. And when you're trimming that fat, you're going to take part of the good meat because you can't help it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Here we go again. He also answered a question toward the end of the video. He said, a lot of people ask me, is it worth it? And he said, I'm going to tell you that it is. So, I'm going to continue on with this till I finish the Choc, and then I'm going to start on the sirloin steak, and then I'll bring you back and show you where we're at. Right, I got all of that meat. Alton calls it chopped instead of, ground, because actually it is, and it's going to have some fat in it. And this is a little over 4 pounds. Now, for every pound of meat you grind up, you're going to use a half a teaspoon of salt, and that's all. No other spices or anything in it. Just a half a teaspoon of salt. So I got 4 pounds. So I'm going to be putting 2 teaspoons of salt in here. And now we're going to get it mixed up. And he said, don't use a heavy hand. And the perfect burger is 5 ounces. Now, this is all according to him. And, I trust him. That is one smart man. So, he said, don't make 4-ounce patties. Don't make 6-ounce patties. Your perfect patty is 5 ounces. So, here we go. We're getting this mixed up. And this is how he said make your patties. Well, that is very fatty. You see that? I'm pulling it out. And in a minute, I'm going to show you all the fat I cut off of this. Because I had a 2.5 pound 2.50 chuck roast and a 3.85 sirloin steak. And what I ended up with, I told you. Told you what I ended up with. Alright, now this is how he says do your patties. I've got my scales over here. Let's see here. Got some foil over it. I mean, you can't see that. There it is. There's my scales. And I put some saran wrap over it. And he said just take a handful of, whoops, let me tear it out first. That's 3.5. That's 5.6. Whoop. 5.1. 4.9. Alright, that's fat. That is 5 ounce. And this is what he says do. Oh, I lost part of it. Go back and forth in your hands. You know, like you're tossing a meatball. And then you push it down just a little bit and get it formed. You don't want it real thick. Let's see if this still weighs 5 ounces. Yeah, it does. Okay, there's your patty. Now, when Sam comes in, we're going to fry this, and we'll see if he can tell the difference. In the meantime, I'm going to be, well, I'll probably bulk pack this and then put it in patties as I need it. So we'll be back. This is what I had left over with all the strands of fat, and it weighs over a pound, but I'm not going to let it go to waste. There's probably other ways I could use it. I could boil it and make beef broth or something like that, but I'm going to chop it up into smaller pieces, and gradually throughout the week I'll add it to my 3 dogs' food. They're going to love it. But we'll be back in a little while when I fry the hamburger for Sam and see if he can tell a difference. Alright. We got our burgers going here on like a medium high heat. Alton says only flip your burgers 1 time. For a medium rare, which is the way we both like ours, it'll be 4 minutes per side. No smashing down of the burger. He said that's a big no-no. So, I've got it on the correct temperature. I got 2 burgers going here. And when our time is up and the burger's ready and it's time for Sam to eat, we'll be back. Alright, we're back. This is Sam's burger. And it is medium rare like we like ours. We don't like them rare and we don't like them medium. If you like medium, do 5 minutes per side. And remember, don't squash the burger down with your spatula, and don't have the heat too hot or too cold. Now he's fixed his bread, and this is ciabatta bread. He's fixed his bread the way he wants it, and he's ready to try this burger. It may need salt and pepper, Sam.
Might put a little ketchup on it. There we go. A little salt, a little pepper.
Right, it may need some. And let's see what he thinks about this homemade ground beef. Careful, it might be a little juicy. You might want to lean over your plate. What do you think? Is it worth grinding yourself or just buying ground beef off the shelf?
Well, it's high quality meat. It tastes, I mean, you know, like a specialty sandwich in a high class restaurant, but it's definitely higher quality meat. I don't know how expensive it is to do all this, but it tastes like a prime rib burger.
You like it?
I do like it, yeah.
It was worth me grinding up the two.
Yeah.
The sirloin and the chuck.
It's very good. It tastes, you know, about like a steak sandwich. High quality meat, yeah, very good.
All right, guys. This is our homemade ground. Let me show them what it looks like after you bit into it. Looks a little more on the medium side to me.
That's good.
But there it is. After he's taken several bites of it, and
hey, McDonald's hasn't got anything like it.
I advise all of you to try this. If you've got a food processor, remember, pulse 10 short times. He said, don't make it into a pasty looking stuff. You'll regret it. So, and then the scraps you can, you know, give to the dogs, because there was a lot of fat that I cut out. But thank you for coming in today. I hope you try this. I hope you like it, because the taste is worth it.
It's delicious.
It's like hamburgers used to taste years ago before they started shooting them up with hormones and fattening them up real too quickly. But give it a try. Thank you for coming in and spending part of your day with me. I always appreciate it. Like and subscribe. You all take care. Until next time, God bless.